Hello everyone, thank you for joining me in another video of a market update. We can slowly go over what's been going on in the markets. Been seeing some downside, some boring action, even some bearish action. So I just wanted to go over some key points here. I'd like to start off with just a clean slate just to show you what I'm looking at. Let's start off on the weekly and we can go from there. So we have our support here on a weekly time frame. Let me just make that a little darker, easier to see. Okay. Then we have our right here would be the range highs, right? About 60,000. So our range is from 30 to 60,000. Okay. And we'll concentrate a little bit on the middle. Me personally, I think the middle is exactly at the point that where we're at now. Okay, and that would be right around here. So we closed below this mid-range over here at below 43,000. Bearish for me, just a little bearish. You can see here, this is this is the support here where the candles lined up, and then we close right below it. All right, so for me that signals more bearish pressure unless we decide to kind of bottom out here. Today is a holiday, so liquidity is really low. Let's check the 3-day. You can, you could always extend this down. Let me just try to see if I can do this real quick. You can kind of cheat like here, and then just see that that could possibly, we could be possibly holding here, okay, on the daily time frame, right? But we need to make sure we don't break below that. Okay, I zoom out, then I zoom in, just kind of give me a little bit of a clearer picture of what's going on with the market. So let me just zoom in a little bit more, and you can see that we're just holding at these levels right now. Okay, so we had up, down, up, couldn't break above it. Now we're here, we're just holding here. So again, as I discussed in my last video, this is really important for us not to break. Okay, if we end up holding at these levels, we could see a retest of 45,000, 46,000. Okay, and then you can kind of see how I came up with that level, right? And just to go over it again, let me just delete this, delete that. So you can see there's a little bit of a range here until we broke here at this point. So let me get a rectangle tool out. Start off at the bottom. Now we're here. You can see that's the range lows. Let's just zoom in a little bit more. Okay, and you can see now there's a level here, right? And then we have our highs right around here. Okay, so that's about 46,000, and that's 51,000. Excuse me, sorry. That's about 51,000, and you can see here, maybe you can add another level here, right around here. That's a level of interest that I'll be looking at. But as for now, let's just focus on these levels. This is on a daily time frame, so it's going to take a while for it to play out. But if we did decide to hold here, our first target would be 45 to 46. And if we're able to hold that there, then the next level, ooh, that's bad. All right, so it'd be here and then here. That would be another level there. Okay, so that's pretty much how I'm looking at in the markets if we're able to hold these levels here. It seems like we are. I'm not too worried that we're going to break it on the first time. But what I am worried about is that we're not going to be able to break this level on the first try, around 59,000, because that's the range highs, right? That's the from the zooming out standpoint. Okay, so we could do a little trend line here, a wick to wick. Again, I'm just messing around with trend lines. I don't really hold that, not to use use that too much, but let me just make these lighter so we can differentiate between the zoomed in and the zooming out. So that's what I have here for these levels. Okay, So delete this really quick. Right, so we hold these levels here. If we can hold around here, which it looks like we're just consolidating here, right? We're just holding. Okay, I know it looks scary that this morning that we kind of dumped down from 43,000, but keep in mind on a zoomed out approach, we're just within these levels, right? We tagged this point here. When was it? A couple weeks ago? A couple days ago? Yeah, the 4th of December, and then now we're just consolidating here. If we break, we know where our next line of support is. Okay, if we're able to hold, we come up here. That's our first target. Second target would be 51, 52,000. Okay, with possible spikes up here. Okay, for the most part. Again, and I just wanted to remind everyone, today is a holiday, so it is Martin Luther King's Day. Okay, so let's just save this. Just save this chart really quick, and now let's move over to the chart that you are used to. Hopefully you're used to. Hopefully you're used to by now. And this is on the weekly, so let's go over the daily now, really 3-day, really quick. You can see same thing, right? These levels are holding nicely. Okay, let me pull out the brush. Again, 1 and 2. Right, we're just holding nicely at these levels for now. Okay, and just like what my previous chart says, right? This is a little bit more in detail, but we get above here. Our first target's at 46, and the second one be about 51. Right, but let's zoom in on the daily. You can see it's almost the same thing, right? We had to here around here, these levels, these two levels here is what I'm looking at. Okay, and it just so happened the 200-day moving average is right on top of that, which I don't use too much, but I kind of use it to gauge if we have more bearish than bullish sentiment. Okay, so we have our levels. We know that if we hold, if we're able to hold here, we'll be fine. We can resume high. We resume higher, I guess, not higher, but just kind of have some bearish retest of some levels. And if we decide to break down, well, we have our first level of 38,000, and then we have our next level of 30,000. Okay, and then I drew something here, which is the $20,000 level around there, which we haven't retested at all. I mean, we haven't really retested. I just want to keep that in mind. Again, shouldn't really be on your radar yet, but just do know if we did lose $30,000, then, we could have a little bit of $23,000 action here, and then finally like a cut right towards 20 grand. All right, don't want to scare you guys, but we just got to keep it realistic. You could draw some arbitrary trend lines. You could do that. You could do this. You could see that. It's you could manipulate to have it fall towards your bias, right? You could do that. It's a little wonky right now. So let's just see if this level holds. If it does, we can kind of see a nice little relief upwards towards $50,000, towards $51,000, and that would be it for Bitcoin. Right now we're just holding. Again, if you're investing long term, you don't have to worry about it. This is short term movements, but the long term still stands, right? Bullish. And let me just give you a quick scenario. A quick just to see. So we're just high. Even if we test back down here, we're still resuming. We're still going to be resuming higher. So long term, right? Just think long term when you're investing into this space. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Let me just do this really quick. Now these are the same levels that I had before, that I had pointed it out last time in the last video, and let's just have a quick refresher. Almost looks like Bitcoin structure, almost. Okay, let's do the weekly. Okay, we have our support long term. It's got high time frame, excuse me. So it's about 18 to 1900, right? Just right below 2 grand. Then we are going to use this. And the reason why I'm starting from scratch, I just want to show everyone, how I come up with these levels, right? Again, the market's subjective. Oops, the market's subjective. So let's delete that. Market's subjective, is how you interpret it for the most part. You could see, around these levels. Okay, and I can just adjust it really quick here. Okay, so we have the lows, which is 1900. Oops, and we have the highs, which is about 4 grand. Okay, 4,000, 38 to 4,000. This was a deviation. Okay, all this, it's a couple of weeks worth of deviation. We saw a lot of downwards pressure, but just being eaten back up again. As soon as I saw something like this, right, we were having trouble just closing below this level. We were just a little bit of a rocky start, but I was still maintaining bullish sentiment. And then that's when I saw this candle, I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to kind of pull back on the bullish sentiment. And then the week after that just confirms it, just slime straight down. Okay, so let's try to more or less figure out what the mid-range is. All right, it's about $3,100. Yeah, 3 grand, 3,100. If we lose that, we could see more downside. I mean, you could probably put that up here as well. But for me, I like to, be safe. I like to just kind of the most recent reversal, which is like about here. See how we just kind of reversed high. So I look for these kinds of candles. It just kind of it lines up with here. So we have to hold this. If we're able to hold it, then we can see some upwards, some upwards momentum towards our weekly level of resistance. Now it was resistance, right? So support flip to resistance. If I did a little fancy line here, you could see that we're having a downtrend. Okay, just to keep that clear. So I would imagine if we were to kind of retest these levels, there'd probably be a lot of whales kind of offloading their positions at 3,900. Not all of their positions, not 90%, in case there was some more upside. But I would imagine since there's some bearish sentiment, then we could see we're going to have a lot of supply here at around 3,900. Zooming in, so on the daily, we could see maybe around here too, around 3,500. We could see some people starting to offload, and then when they kind of see, okay, maybe I can make a little bit more money, a little bit more on my position, they'll probably start offloading around that level. So we're looking at these two levels. Okay, let me just not make this as bright. Hurts the eyes. I gotta make some. Does hurt the eyes a little bit. All right, let's make a little bit more. Okay, so I'm thinking along the lines of these of this. Okay, we have $3,500 to $3,800. Okay, we're going to see some resistance here. People are probably going to be flip to bullish and kind of just try to enter in some longs prematurely, and then we're going to see a lot of supply coming up. Okay, so we have here, and then just kind of slime back down. All right, so just pretty bearish from this standpoint. Again, subjective. That's what I see. I mean, if you could draw a little line here, you could see that kind of lines up with that as well. Again, fancy lines, nothing substantial, but something like that. It just looks messy. That's why I don't use horizontal lines. Trend lines too much. This makes sense to me as well. Okay, we just kind of hit the peaks. We could do that as well. I mean, listen, we know that there's a downtrend, right? We need to break above 3,900 in order for us to resume, because then we'll create a higher high, right? Here we have a lower high, okay, lower high, and it would just make sense we'd form another lower high here, right at this sweet spot. Again, from $3,600 to $3,800. Okay, and we're forming lower lows, lower low, and lower low. Okay, we need to break this pattern. How do we do that? We need to break above here, and then we'll create a higher high. Oops. Right, so we have the low here. Let's just say we do bottom out here, and we would have to go like that. Right, this was the lower high, but now we're forming a higher high, and so on and so forth. But as of right now, we're we're just maintaining here, just like Bitcoin was maintaining around $40,000 to $41,000, $42,000. So if we're able to kind of hold this level for the next couple of days, we could see a nice little rally right into this. Okay, so just keep that in mind. $35,000 to $38,000 could be a potential level where a lot of whales will start offloading their position. Right, there'll be a lot of supply up in here. So let me just save that really quick. As for the downside levels, it hurts me to say this, but you know, we have $2,700 here. Okay, $2,700 to $2,800. All right, that would be the first level here, and then the next one would be, you know, about 2,300. I mean, at that point we'll just look at $2,000 if we break $2,700. So let me just save this really quick. Let's go back to my Ethereum chart. See, so you can see same thing. We're holding here 3,500 to 3,800. Okay, these are the levels that haven't been retested yet. If I flip this upside down, actually no, that's not going to work for you guys. Okay, so you know, we can see that this hasn't been retested yet, a bearish retest, and then this hasn't been retested. Well, we had it here, but we need a confirmation. And again, if we do that, then you know, you can see that all that space has to be filled at 1, 2, and it'll still create a lower high, right? As explained in that other chart. Okay, if we're able to hold these levels, so right here, right? This is right here. If this qualifies as a higher low, then we could see this first, and then ultimately, oops, excuse me, we could see here, and then right at this level, and that would still create, you know, a lower high. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys. Just trying to gauge, trying to help you see the market differently. You already have your levels for both Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now let's move over to. Just save this. Let's move over to XLM. XLM has just been choppy. I don't know if there's a okay, yeah. XLM has just been really choppy. Let me get rid of this fancy stuff. These fancy lines. You can see there's a range here. Right? This is our range. 23 cents to 39 cents. You could even say, you know, down here, 21 cents to 39 cents. It's just a little sideways, and we've been having sideways action since May, right? So it's been really boring for XLM. Okay, what would make me bullish? Well, we need to break above here, above 42 cents or 40 cents. I'd like to see something like that. Okay, so we could have one more retest of the low 20s, resume upwards, and then we have to break 40 cent level. We have to break this level here. Okay, it is what it is. We have to just break that. This is right here. This is really important for me. Let me just redo that. I know the video is a little bit long, but I just kind of want to go over what I see. So again, we not only have to break above this level here, but I'd like to see a confirmation here and resuming higher. Okay, so ultimately, you know, 43 cents would be the confirmation for me, and then we could see a nice rise towards 65 cents, right towards this level up there. And let me just clear out the charts a little bit, and let me do it, you know, let me genuinely just try to, oh, that was a straight line, it was nice. Let me just try to genuinely just make a chart, in a nice little, you know, easy to read zones. Can we do this on the daily? Let me get rid of this moving average first. It's a distraction. Okay. All right. So we could do something like this, right? Up here, it's 2. Okay. Now you can clearly see the zones. You can really clearly see it. Now, you know, it should be a little bit more prominent. These zones, more or less. Okay, and as you can see, this is what it would take, right? If we break on the low end side, we could see some more downside. If we break on the higher end side, then we could see some more upside. Clear and cut, really simple. You know, nothing too complicated. And then, you know, for me, the first target would be if we do break 41 cents, well, that'll be all the way up here. Okay, towards the 71 cents. It's a little too optimistic, but you know, more or less. I mean, the levels would be from 65 to 70, right? So for like more or less up here. As you can see, I like having fun while going over the charts. Okay, so we have our levels, right? We break this level, then we're going to see some more downside. We break the high, we break the highs, then we can see some more upside. Really, really clean cut, simple. Zooming out even more, you can see it. You can see it a lot clearer. Okay, so let's just hope we bounce off here and come up. But if we do decide to break that, then we're going to see some more pain in the in the markets. Ooh, so that's it for XLM. Let's move over to XRP. Actually, you know what? Let me see do I have any levels below? No, I do not. I don't have any levels below 19 cents. I mean, technically, if you really want to know where we would end up at, would probably be around the 13-cent level. You know, right around here. It would be like right here. Okay, that would be like, that's it, ultimate pain. That'd be 14 cents to 16 cents, right around here. And if we break that, then I don't know. I don't know where we could be going. You know, single digits at a single cent levels, a digit cents. So, but let's not concentrate too much on that negativity. Let's just worry about what we have in front of us. Okay, if I were to draw a nice little fancy line from here, we could see that we kind of broke that, and we just need to recover. Right, we need to get right back up on this level 33 to kind of maintain momentum. I mean, you could always do this too. Again, you could just draw a line to kind of uphold your bias, but we need to be a little bit more realistic here. Okay, so we're at 23 cents here. If we break that, we're going straight to 20s, to the low 20s. Okay, so that's it for XLM. I'm not sure if we have. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay, so that's from like, I think maybe like a couple weeks ago, the video. So let me just clear that out for you real quick. Okay, so it's not as clean cut, but that would make sense for me. Then we have the highs here. Right, this would be a deviation. And now we're just in the middle. What's the mid-range, you ask? Maybe around here somewhere. Oh, that was wild. Okay, let me just. So that's what I have here. And let me just go over these levels really quick. So right now we're at 75-cent range. We lose that. If we break that, we're going straight towards 60s, maybe even the 50s range. That's what I have. That's pretty much what I have. I mean, there is that 20-cent level, which is kind of wild. I don't think we're gonna hit 20 cents. I could be wrong, but it's a level nonetheless. Right, like here. That's wild. This trend line, it's a little more prominent here. If we do a trend line like that, whatever, you could see you could see that there's a downward trend here. Okay, from here, from here to there. Right, and then there's another. You could do another trend line from here to there. So we're just at the cusp. If we lose that, if we lose this level here, you can see how important that level was. That level is. We can see some more downside towards 61 cents, and possibly even towards 50s. All right, so just keep that in mind. Let me just save this really quick. I'll go to the XRP, back to our charts, switch a little. It's all over the place. Clear out these levels in the middle. I'm gonna have to redo the charts anyway. Okay, so this is our saving grace. This is our little local line of interest right around here. about 68 cents. We tapped it a couple of times, so if we break that, we lose this, and then we can go right towards the 50-cent levels. All right, so that would be it for XRP. Overall, I mean, you know, there is the FOMC meeting coming up, right? Jerome Powell is going to announce if they're going to be raising rates or not. The markets are forward looking, right? So they were expecting a rate hike, and you know the market already kind of took a very mean correction. So for me, long term thoughts. For me, I'm obviously, this is not financial advice. Read the terms and conditions, but for me, I am still, you know, weekly buying on a weekly basis. You know, at the highs, I was cutting back a little bit on my buy-ins, but now that we're at the lows, then you know I kind of just push a little bit more percentage-wise, like you know an extra 10-20% a week. You know, in projects that I have full conviction in. All right, not like. I mean, I have nothing against Shiba, but I'll just show you something really quick on Shiba. I made a joke, a couple of my friends, right? Why, you know, buy here, right? You had all summer to buy Shiba, and then you decide to buy at the top, right? So from a weekly standpoint, or I guess a 3-day view, let's go on the weekly. I mean, we haven't retested 4 zeros 1825, 4 zeros 1098. Okay, so we could possibly get a relief rally here, or maybe even up here, which would still create a lower high. Okay, then a lower low, lower high, lower low, and so on and so forth. I mean, this probably won't hit till sometime in the summer, or we could just see it melt straight down. Okay, but I just want to give you guys a heads up if you guys are into Shiba. I mean, I am, you know, in Shiba, but again, at not these levels up, not these insanely high levels. I think it's trading at a premium still. Okay, so here would be my target, around there. I know it's a little pessimistic, but you know, just got to be realistic. I mean, the whole market's just down for now, right? Everything. So just wanted to touch on Shiba a little bit. I have nothing against Shiba. Okay, there's a reason, I guess, why Binance and Coinbase holds it. Maybe it's for trading fees because they know the people are going to buy in. I don't know. So yeah, so that's pretty much my video for today. I know I went a little long, but I just kind of want to give the full market, breakdown of what I see. You guys, you already have your levels. We just need to see if it plays out. And again, just think long term, right? Investing is a long term mentality, 5 to 10 years. It's not a short term. Short term for me is 1 to 5 years. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The longer your time frame, the easier it is to handle these kind of market swings, where we're going from 30 to 50, 60% price fluctuations. Once you're in it for a couple of years, then you'll be a little bit more. You'll build some kind of you'll build a toughness for it. Okay, and these charts kind of help you decide at what levels you should be buying, what support and stuff like that, if you wanted to double down in terms of investing a little bit more rather than just buying somewhere in the middle, right? Well, if we were above here, let's just say for Bitcoin we were above here at these levels, I didn't know where it would stop, but I knew that these levels would be like buying spot. Then we kind of fell down. I'm like, okay, maybe with the next levels, there was a couple levels in the middle of my other chart, but I knew here would be nice, a little sweet spot here at 42,000. Again, didn't go all in, but of course there's always that potential of it being hitting around $30,000. So yeah, so that's my video again for today. Thank you guys for taking the time and watching my video and hopefully staying through all of it. If not, totally understand. This was a little bit of a long video, but I just wanted to thank you guys for everything. Hope you guys are enjoying your new year. And if any of this resonated with you, please give a follow and a like, subscribe, a little alert, and any comments would be greatly appreciated. I do kind of read all the comments, even though it's just a handful. But got to start off somewhere. So thank you again, and I'll check you guys in the next one.